Malik Monk could be a very important player this season for the Lakers. He's already receiving praise from his coach and teammates. Earlier this offseason, Monk signed a veterans minimum to join the Lakers. A questionable move for him, as he's a talented young player who could have gotten a lot more money elsewhere. This was definitely a steal for the Lakers. But if this year turns out as they hope it does, it could prove to be a smart move for Monk as well. Only a few days into training camp, Monk is already receiving praise from the Lakers. Probably the biggest and most important compliment he could get is from the coach, considering he controls the playing time. Vogel was really impressed with Malik Monk, recognizing his offensive versatility. According to Vogel, Monk is a good shooter, but he also has plenty of other offensive skills. Of course, his shooting is probably the main reason the Lakers signed him, but he's also able to do other things. He's great at cutting to the basket. He's also very athletic. And according to Vogel, he is a lob threat. I mean, he does have a 42-inch vertical. Last season, the Lakers had hardly any alley-oops. They didn't have many lob threats. This season is very different. Of course, they have the three athletic bigs, AD, Dwight, and DeAndre Jordan. Of course, there's LeBron. But now we have an uncommon situation where the guards can be the lob threat with Westbrook and Malik Monk. So this adds another dimension to the offense that the defense has to pay attention to. Monk is also a confident ball handler. And with this, he has the ability to be put in situations where he can initiate the offense and play somewhat of a point guard role. Now, it probably won't get to a point where he's actually designated as the point guard, but in certain situations, especially when the offense isn't going according to plan and he has the ball in his hands, it's good to know that he has the ability to make plays. He can take his man off the dribble and slash to the basket, but he can also stop on a dime and shoot the pull-up. This offensive versatility is important because this gives Frank Vogel a lot of different options. He can insert Monk in a lot of different lineups, which means he gets more playing time and more opportunities. His shooting ability allows him to be on the floor at the same time as the big three. It gives them the ability to space the floor and open up lanes for LeBron and Russ. But his ability to handle the ball and score from pretty much anywhere also allows him to be on the floor without the big three, where he can take some of the scoring load and playmaking duties while they're resting. And of course, he can still do the same with the big three while they're on the floor as well. So if he's having a hot night, they could potentially have him play with the stars to close out a game. Now, his defense is questionable. He's never been known as a defender. One thing, he's undersized for a shooting guard, but also, he just hasn't been very good on that end of the floor. Hopefully that changes this season and Vogel gets him to improve. But he's gonna have to be able to hold his own on defense if he wants to stay on the floor, especially with a defensive-minded coach like Vogel. And especially with him being one of the younger guys on the team, they're probably going to look to him for that youthful energy on the defensive end. I mean, if these older guys are busting their ass on defense, then he has no excuse not to. I envision him to be a player similar to Lou Williams, at least play that role, a guy that can just light it up and score off the bench. I do believe that he could be the Lakers' sixth man this year. It's between him and Melo, but he can definitely be a spark plug off the bench. Dwight Howard called him the microwave because once he hits a shot, he just heats up and keeps on hitting. Howard played with him previously in Charlotte, so he knows what he's capable of. Anthony Davis even said that he was surprised that the Lakers were able to get someone of his talent. Now, it's possible that they're just hyping him up, trying to get his confidence up there, But if you watched him play in Charlotte and you watched him this preseason, you'll know that what they're saying is true. Monk is just on a 1-year deal, so if he shows he's able to play championship level basketball, he could be looking at a huge payday in the offseason. And with guys like AD, Dwight Howard, and Frank Vogel already impressed with his play, that may just happen. If he plays to his potential and to the expectations of his teammates, then he could be a key part of the Lakers' quest for a championship.